Okay, and we're live. Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. Today, we're taking a look at the new champion of Shazam. And it is worth pointing out to start with that I know very little about Shazam. So this is going to be looking at how well it explains things and how good it is for new people who come and read it who's never maybe picked it up before. And it is a little bit of a mixed bag on that one, if I'm honest. We're going to get to actually the slightly more complicated thing to talk about is the writing. Easy to talk about is the artwork, because I love it. And that cover you've just seen there is fantastic. It's the same guy, does it inside, and that one page there is absolutely beautiful. I love it. There is just so much going on there in terms of facial expression and motion and energy. I'm not necessarily a big fan of that old style speech bubble, but I can take or leave that kind of thing. It's certainly not going to spoil my enjoyment of it. And for the rest of the artwork is fantastic. It captures just down-to-earth day-to-day situations and also a fight against some weather-controlling bank robber who can throw bank vault doors around. On all of it comes across in just the same way, which is just great. It's got a very nice boldness of line to it. It has some detail, but it's not overdone. And when they do that, it's a much finer point. So it kind of invites you to examine the detail rather than just see it like all over there, not in a Jeff Darrow kind of way. It actually reminds me of Cassidy's artwork from Planetary, which I've always quite enjoyed. It's nice when something can remind me of something that I enjoy like that. The motion sequences are fantastic as well, and yeah, facial expressions throughout are brilliant. It's a very human story. And here we get onto the other side of things, which is the writing and how it all works out, because I don't really know much about Shazam. I know that there's Billy Batson, who was a kid who got the power of Shazam, which is the initials of various, I'm going to say, Greek gods. And when he says the word Shazam, he becomes Captain Marvel, but the Marvel situation was confusing. I know since watching the movie, he has some siblings from foster care or adoptive siblings who also end up being other people who have the same kind of powers. That is it. That's all I really know. I do know that one of the ones was his sister, older sister called Mary, and that is who this comic book is about. And it's her kind of leaving the family behind and going to college, going to Vassar, and the Billy Batson, the main guy, doesn't have his powers anymore. He's on the Rock of Eternity or something like that. But he's managed to get a message to her through a talking rabbit, because why the heck not, that she will now have the powers of Shazam. She'll be the new champion, and she'll have all the powers. So it won't be split between siblings, so she's even more powerful. Which is a nice little touch. I like the way they're doing that. Interesting of why they've chosen this character, and this isn't a negative oh, I can't believe they've given all these powers to a woman. If you've been watching movies for a while, you know that's certainly not how I think. But not knowing too much about the characters, I think there is room to have a little bit of an evaluation of why this person out of the other five, or four, I suppose now, was the one chosen to be the new champion. Was there a reason why some other people couldn't do it or wouldn't do it? Why she was the first on the list? That kind of stuff, the exposition was missing a little bit, and it left some unanswered questions. And also at the start of it, to say how much exposition there is and how expositionary all feels, I was expecting a little bit more background. There's bits where even the dialogue of characters talking to each other has moments where it feels like they're just saying it to fill in the gaps about what's going on. Like when the parents can't go with her to Vassar, they take the time to explain why she can't, which is effectively just a rundown of who all the other kids are and what they're doing. It feels unnecessarily drawn out. But, and here's the good thing, that doesn't stay that way at all. Once she gets to Vassar, there is a notable shift, and I can't help but feel that that's done on purpose, because she is then trying to figure out who she is and making some interesting choices, including changing her name slightly, and meeting new people and reinventing herself in any way she sees fit. It's also a lot funnier. The bit with the talking rabbit is fantastic, and it's a really well-drawn rabbit. I know it's kind of a weird thing to focus on, but there's something about the way it's drawn, specifically in profile, which comes across as very emotive and very easy to empathize with. And he's also a very funny character. And I can't help but feel that that is going to be part of the joy of this comic book. Having watched the Shazam movie, the only real proper experience of Shazam outside of Kingdom Come, it is a fun thing to do. I can't help but laugh at some of the things that happen in the movie. Don't get me wrong, it's not full-on belly laugh full comedy. It is just a light-hearted superhero story. The kind of stuff that DC should be doing a little bit more, if I'm honest. I would say, yeah, if you're going to like that kind of thing, this is going to be for you. As long as you can kind of get through those first maybe half a dozen pages, because it doesn't invite you in. it feels like it knows it's an issue 1 and it's trying to bombard you with information, but it still doesn't do enough, or it doesn't do it in a way that's very interesting. But once you get past that point, absolutely fine. Brilliant comic book, really well drawn. The action seems fantastic, and there's a lot of heart and humor to it. I do apologize for the message beeping up there. I try to mute these things before I start, but I obviously forgot to do that one. That's it from me for the week. I'll be back on Tuesday. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.